Welcome to the webinar today. I'm here with Jeff Cohn from Omaha's Elite. I was just telling Jeff he's pretty famous, so I don't know that I really need to give him an intro, but we really wanted to have this today to just share with you guys what you can be doing in today's market, because now is a time where people are either choosing to pay attention to the news and sit around in front of the TV all day, or choosing to really build their business and prepare for what's going to happen towards the end of this year. And even I'm seeing some of the people having their best months right now. And I know Jeff's been having some solid months as well. So Jeff, do you want to just give everyone a kind of an update on your background? I know you just made the move over to KW, but what else would you like to share with us?
Sure, yeah, quick 60 seconds. So we're known for our agent growth. We went from 70 to over 700 unit sales in 6 years. That was back after launching our team in 2011. Our first full year was 12 through 17. We also were the #1 team at Berkshire awarded in 2019 for our 2018 unit sales. And then we did just switch over. We went from Omaha's Elite Real Estate Group. We retired our jersey and launched a KW franchise, KW Elite, in Omaha, Nebraska. But our coaching company, Elite Real Estate Systems, is nationwide. And we've got over 100 coaching clients across the country who take advantage of the systems and processes and tools that we've been using to grow at the rate in which we've grown. And it's a very short growth period, to be able to go from being an individual to a team with over 50 agents in less than 10 years. We've also been able to launch a lot of parallel businesses, which I like to mention because I do think it ties into analytics and how to stay relevant moving forward with everything that's going on. Back in 2016, I launched a title company and an insurance company. I also launched an investment company that buys about 10 houses a month in the Omaha metro area. We all launched a call center, 1,000 calls a day. We've got over 100 virtual callers. And I just recently launched a mortgage company last month, actually, 2 weeks before rates dropped at a 50-year low. And the refi business is the best it's ever been. We launched our mortgage company, so crazy timing with that one. And then I also just launched a digital marketing company, which provides Matterport. Literally, this is 3 months ago. It provides Matterport, drone footage, virtual reality for listings. Again, how could that have come at any better time? So I'm super excited about the call today. I know there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. We have a lot of people live with us today. One of the things I said to Brian beforehand to offer a lot of value to you guys. Any questions you have, please put those in the chat. We're going to do our best to respond to each and every question, either via chat and or actually raising their hand and asking me the question specifically. I want people to feel comfortable and even excited with the opportunities that are coming up. And so with the power of Sisu, we're able to make decisions over the next couple of months, hard decisions, to help us know where our highest income producing activities lie and where our greatest return on investment is, and to keep our agents motivated. All things people keep asking me about. So thank you, Brian, for the opportunity to be on the call today.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'm glad you're here. So I noticed, Jeff, that you're not in Omaha. Tell us all where you're at right now.
Was that because of the palm trees?
Yeah.
It's a green screen. We were in Kauai 3 weeks ago. Our kids were pretty disappointed. We weren't going to get to go to Florida for spring break because Disney canceled. Everything obviously closed down. And so we decided to go to Kauai, and everyone was concerned we might be stuck here. And I said, that's kind of my goal. It's very safe here. There's not very many cases right now of COVID-19. So I felt like from a safety standpoint, we were in the best place in the world. It's also very beautiful, obviously, and the weather's great. But from a virtual standpoint, we had prepared for this event 5 years ago. Our office has always claimed it had the ability to be virtual and physical. And if anyone saw my Instagram post, if you're not following me, it's at Jeff M. Cohn, that's C-O-H-N on Instagram. I literally said 45 days ago in front of 20,000 people at Family Reunion that I believe that for an office to stay relevant over the next 5 years, it had to give the consumer the ability to do everything that was once done physically, virtually. And I know we have a slide, Brian, that I recently sent over to you. We're going to make this available to everyone on this call to share with all of their clients, but it's essentially explaining to the consumer what changes we've taken, what pivots we've made in our businesses to be able to provide them everything we once provided physically, virtually. And it's just crazy timing. I mean, who would have ever guessed 45 days later, everyone's forced to operate virtually now?
Yeah, I actually have seen your clip and know that you were saying that, and you're also talking about virtual reality and kind of the next evolution of where we're going with actually the way we're going to change the way we show homes. So Jeff, I know you're involved in a business there. Why don't you tell us about that business a little bit? Because I think we're actually seeing a change there right now as far as, you can't
Yeah.
just go show a home the way you used to be able to show a home. So what do you do today? Where are we today? Where is that going in the future in your eyes?
Yeah, for sure. I'll jump into that. So without me having to tell you, I'm actually going to show you guys, if you don't mind, I just shared the link to a branded Verly, VRLY. Most of you are familiar with Matterport. What's unique about Verly is they take the Matterport and house it inside a unique landing page that's branded for the agent. And what's nice about having the branded page, all your marketing online is going to point buyers and sellers to you. We also use QR codes on our signs. So the redirect on the QR code says scan here for drone footage, photos, and 3D tour of this home. And then in all of our print advertising, just listed, just sold, and leave behind flyers, has the QR code that says scan here, again, to be redirected to that landing page that's branding you as the agent. So Brian, if you wouldn't mind, let's share your screen and click into that link, and we'll just take 60 seconds. Most of you already know this technology exists. I think where Verly has kind of separated itself from what you typically would see with virtual reality software is that it helps you market everything outside of just giving them a Matterport link, because the Matterport lives inside this unique landing page. And if you guys have, there you go, I was gonna say. So this is an example of an active listing I have today. That very first play button would actually take you down the rabbit hole to go to Matterport. So why don't you go ahead and click that. And once they go into this, it gives them the dollhouse view, which is essentially the floor plan. And it gives the user the ability to pick which area of the house they'd like to go into. And so once it populates, I know it's kind of laggy with Zoom right now, is how many people are on Zoom. But right now, Brian can decide where he wants to go within the home. And then once he's selected that location, he can tour the house virtually with either just using a click of his mouse like he is right now, or if you see in the bottom right corner, it shows you a link to be able to put on your virtual reality goggles. So if you have Google Cardboard, which is a $15 virtual reality solution where you put your phone in, or you could even have a solution like I have in my basement that's $1,800, which is HTC Vive Pro. In between, Oculus Go is a good option. It's $150. Oculus Quest is about $500. It just depends on the level and experience you want to have virtually. But ultimately, we are making it available for a buyer. And by the way, this applies to every kwELITE listing. This isn't just whoever can afford it. We require, if you work within kwELITE, and we're in 3 markets now, you have to have a virtual tour on every listing. And this is pre-COVID-19, which is pretty interesting. So now we're making it that much better and that much safer for the buyers to tour our homes virtually. And I think I would like to see this mandated by every multiple listing service in the country, that if you're going to take a listing, you have to give the buyer a virtual option. We thought it would take 5 years for consumer demand. We're here. It's time.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the quality of that you can truly go through a home, see exactly what the wood floors look like, see exactly what the kitchen, I mean, you can see everything, right? So very cool stuff, Jeff. Let's get back to the working remotely. You're in Kauai. Your business continues to thrive. You're having success while you're in Hawaii. How are you doing that? How do you manage a team remotely? How do you keep them motivated? And how do you hold them accountable?
Sure. So there's levels to this. First and foremost, I own over 10 businesses. Each of those businesses has a key person that runs that company, or your operator, if you will. My job is to align with the operator on a weekly basis and have key for performance indicators where I can check in on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis to see how the business is running, how it's operating, and if we're doing the correct activities necessary to be successful. I call that predictable revenue. So you can forecast based on analytics of what you did, what activities your company executed on the last 6 months will tell you what income you should expect the next 6 months. And so when this all took place, you guys, and I knew we were going virtual, I found it as a great opportunity. My kids didn't physically have to be at school. We didn't have to physically go to church. I couldn't physically go to my gym. I couldn't physically go to my office without potentially causing issues with spreading viruses. And so I just decided this would be a time I could pack up my stuff and move to Hawaii for a few months. And it's been business as usual virtually. The only physical component today across all of my businesses is when an agent currently chooses, or an acquisition manager chooses, to physically tour a property, which up to this point in Nebraska, that's still legal. They haven't done a shutdown yet. They're just saying use caution. And we are having all of our buyers and sellers sign an agreement letting them know they are putting themselves at risk if we do tour the house. We're taking all the proper precautions. But in most states, we're seeing that they are making residential real estate agents one of the essential categories, because if the mortgage and banking business is going to continue, you're going to have agents showing those properties. But we are doing as much as we can to provide our clients with a virtual solution. Let's pull up that slide real quick, Brian, if you don't mind. This is actually going out to our social media today, and I'll give props to Mark Fox in Portland, Oregon, who actually posted this about a week ago. I made a few tweaks to his post, but everyone is welcome to use this. Download it once you see me post it up. You have my permission to use it. We want to make sure your customers feel comfortable and confident that you do have a virtual solution for them, that the experience will be very similar to a physical experience, and that they can safely navigate the real estate transaction and close on a house in the next 60 days. And you are going to see a lot of people moving right now. There's literally industries that have closed and have been told they're going to be closed towards the end of the year. I could see a lot of people literally up and selling their home and moving to a different area where their industry hasn't been closed down yet. I'm already hearing stories about it. So I do think our industry is going to stay essential. Obviously, we're going to have to help people find homes so that they're not stuck in hotels. Well, Brian pulls that.
Jeff, I'm just pulling that up. One sec.
No worries at all. Take your time. So one of the things that we wanted to make sure was that we communicated to our agents on how to stay safe. And then more importantly, to the consumer, we wanted them to know there's still a virtual option. So that's why we created this little infographic that, like I said, is going to get posted onto my Instagram page today. So for anyone that wants to use this, go ahead. So of course, starting it all off, we've always said you should have a virtual presentation that can be offered to buyers and sellers. Now more than ever, we need to be able to show someone what our value is versus all the other agents who are claiming that they have a virtual solution. How is our virtual solution better? First and foremost, allow the people you're meeting with and or talking to virtually to choose which platform. Don't force them into Zoom if they don't have a Zoom account. Use FaceTime, use Google Hangout, use Marco Polo, whatever they're comfortable with, let them choose the forum, and you make sure you have every single one downloaded on your devices. Number two, have a platform that allows people to save their favorite properties that they have toured virtually, so that you then can decide which ones does it make sense to physically tour, which ones are the essential homes that they have to physically go into. Number three, touring virtually, giving them that virtual option. A buyer that doesn't want to enter a property or a seller that doesn't want to allow the buyer to enter a property could do a FaceTime live or a Zoom call like this one. You could also use Zoom and record a walkthrough of a property if the client doesn't feel comfortable going on the showing. Last one is signing. E-signing isn't new. DocuSign, Dotloop, et cetera, has always existed, but now more than ever, it is pertinent and applicable to our current economic state. And then, of course, getting pre-approved has always been virtual. Now more than ever, having that virtual contact, virtual solution is key. One of the nice things, our mortgage company that just launched and our insurance company, everybody's set up with the best technology to help people get approved virtually. They can do it online, and then they can meet with their mortgage lender or insurance agent all online. Closing phase, Nebraska just passed a law yesterday that people that are notaries can now do electronic notaries for a certain amount of time. I hope this stays applicable. So you no longer are wet signatures at a closing office required. If the notary has gotten their licensing updated or upgraded on the government site, we can now do actual closings now virtually, which I think is super awesome. I've always wanted that. That was always the one component that you had to do at a physical location. So that's
it seems, Jeff, like there's a lot of things such as that, and even a virtual showing, right? I mean, how many real estate agents actually love to be out showing homes when there's just a more efficient and effective way to do it, right? So this has kind of forced us to think differently in the real estate world, which I think is really pushing the real estate industry forward.
I totally agree. I think not only the real estate industry as a whole, and Brian, that's good on the infographic if you want to shut that down, but I think as a worldwide, people that hadn't been comfortable with adopting the new technologies that are out there that allow us to save time and money and operate at a virtual level. There's a lot of people that just simply didn't want to go through the pain of learning how to operate everything we're operating today. You and I and a lot of people on this call were already comfortable doing this, but a lot of other people based on certain demographics and locations were not. And what's interesting with this event, which is obviously horrific, and this pandemic that's unprecedented, that no one's ever seen anything like this. When we come out of it, we will all operate at a much more efficient level. A lot of people are going to close down their offices or go to a hybrid office like what I've been running for 5 years, where you have all the ancillaries in one office and everyone's just working in like in a touch and go environment. You give them a physical space so they have the physical option, but every component of the business can also be done virtually. I've been talking about this for 5 years. None of this is new. It's now just forced upon everyone to operate like this.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Jeff, let's jump in for a minute and show us how you, I mean, from where you're at, how do you actually manage your team's numbers? How are you aware of what's going on in your business?
Cool.
I just pulled up your CSU dashboard. These are live dashboards of Jeff's. So Jeff, I'm going to bounce over. You can see your year-over-year data there, but I'm going to bounce over to your team dashboard here.
Sure. One thing I will say, Brian, so structurally, our team for the last 8 years since launching in 2011, so this would be our 9th year, has been meeting on a weekly basis on Monday mornings. And we call that at the time it was a team accountability meeting. Now it's a brokerage accountability meeting where we meet together, and we're doing this now on Zoom as are a lot of teams. And we hold everyone accountable to certain activities. Success isn't just based on results. Success is based on the work we put in on a daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly basis. And that's where CSU comes into play. So we know the exact activity an agent must execute to get a certain result. And how that breaks down for us, it's been about, and it takes about 5 call attempts to get one person to answer a phone, 10 phone answers for one person to go on an appointment, 2 appointments for one deal to go under contract with an average commission of around $6,000. And we've been able to derive all that data from CSU. And that's the overall average. But the power with CSU is each individual agent can now go in, and now more than ever, and see where their highest income producing activities lie and what their call to contact, appointment to close ratio is based on the areas they're choosing to deploy their time and energy. And then we as a leader can not only hold them accountable to that and watch that on a leaderboard, but we can also train to the areas we think that they need to have better success or better results.
Great. So it looks like your goal this year, Jeff, is to do 437, and you are on pace to do that based on what you currently have pending.
Yeah. So not all of our board is updated. So we just made the conversion over to kwELITE. We still have a lot of agents' goals that still need to be loaded up who recently joined the brokerage. We're on track right now to do 1,500 sides in 2020 across the brokerage.
So yeah. So okay. Wow.
That's
Congrats.
A little short. Yeah.
That's exciting. So if you come down here and see all your leaderboards, I know this used to be displayed in your office on that big TV. Now you have you just have people accessing this remotely. Is that what's going on?
Well,
here?
our office is still hybrid. We legally can still have our doors open, so we still have agents choosing to go in and out of the office. All of our admin have been given the choice of working virtually or working at the office, and some of them will go in and out of the office as well. So we try to keep the office under 10 people. It's a 3,000 square foot footprint, so less than 10 people to keep everybody safe. But yes, these dashboards have been utilized virtually, obviously since the beginning. Even when we weren't running the CSU platform, agents had access to our Excel spreadsheets virtually, but agents don't want to look at an Excel spreadsheet. That's where the CSU's magic comes into play. Is you get these beautiful dashboards where you see right now, this is showing agents unit sales. So Veronica at the top of that leaderboard with 7 closed units in 2020. And then it just kind of sorts everyone. All their pictures are in there. Of course, all their numbers, their names. It's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Okay. Let's talk about reporting for a minute, Jeff. So where you guys actually did something a little bit different. I recall you started with Craigslist many years ago. So you guys have kind of a self-generating lead machine there, but your expenses, sorry, I've got the questions in front of my view here. So your expenses, let's go look at your lead source ROI for a minute. So your expenses right here are really primarily being put into Boomtown paid ad. And it looks like you just started some Zillow expenses. Is that right?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. So this Boomtown paid ad, you can see here, it looks like you guys have spent $23,000 on Boomtown. You've brought in $42,000 in GCI. And I actually think it's beyond that because part of what you're spending there actually goes to Google PPC.
Yeah, we're a 5X right now on Google ads. So we found, and we're also not paying anything for ad spend because our vendor partners are paying for all of our lead generation. We've spent over $1 million in lead gen in the last 9 years. On average, we spend $8,500 a month, $6,000 on Google ads, $2,000 on Facebook. All of our Facebook ads are pixeled. So we're only retargeting people that came through the website but didn't register. So if they came through a Google ad but didn't end up registering, they came to the website, the squeeze page, only 1 out of 10 people actually end up signing up. So the way the numbers break down is it's $1 every time someone clicks on one of our ads, and we need 10 people to click to generate 1 lead, and we've been converting at about 2%. So if you do the math on that, it's about $500 per converted deal. And so we are getting on average $6,000 from each sale and giving the agent a 50% referral fee, or charging the agent a 50% referral fee. So our company keeps $3,000 less the $500. It's a net $2,500 to us for a $500, essentially for the $500 per lead. So the numbers have been the same for about 9 years consistently, even as we've grown. So a lot of people thought we'd find that point of diminishing returns as we spent more money. We still have not found the ceiling. For us, the ceiling isn't lead gen, it's finding agents willing to work the leads. And I think a lot of other brokers and team leaders agree with that. The challenge isn't lead generation, that's easy. The challenge is finding people that are willing to work the leads, and not even the leads we generate, the leads they generate. Yeah. Just doing all the best practice to follow up with the leads that they generate. And so we've actually tracked incubation periods, and we found that over time, the average lead from the day it goes into your CRM to the day it goes under contract is 6 months. And that's independent of the lead source. So it could be a lead from your CrossFit box. It could be a lead from church. It could be a lead from sign calls, open houses, door knocking, whatever the case might be. The average time a human typically takes from the day they go to a site to look at homes to the date they go under contract is 6 months. And so by knowing incubation periods, it teaches you how you should engage. And so now more than ever, a lot of people are making excuses, like you mentioned earlier, wearing their pajamas, not working, saying, hey, we can't work. We received a stop order. The work you put in today, listen, the work you put in today is going to define Q3. The results of the calls you make over the next 3 months will define the income you earn at the end of this year. And so the agents that I have putting deals together today on the leaderboard, they're not killing it today because they're killing it today. They're killing it today because they killed it last fall when everybody took off Thanksgiving to Christmas or Thanksgiving to New Year's. The agents that were prospecting and keeping consistent with the most important activities are seeing the results of that today, 6 months later. And so Sisu's obviously empowered us, weaponized us to be able to make the best choices as to where we spend our time and be able to track those incubation periods.
Great. Jeff, let's talk about vendors really quick, because I think most of us don't really pay attention to where our agents are sending our business. Now, if we own a mortgage company, which you now do, let's look at this. How much of your business, what's the name of your mortgage company? Are you guys getting deals from yourself yet?
Exarban Mortgage, we literally launched about 4 weeks ago. Caliber Home Loans was the mortgage lender, Nick Zwiebel, who was primarily working a lot of the leads from my team. We also have another vendor partner, Freedom Lending, who is still a vendor partner of ours, even though we own our own mortgage company. And so we encourage agents to use whoever they feel most comfortable with, and we provide them with additional lenders that are in-house, that are more present in the office. And those are typically our vendor partners and or entities I own. But we are very flexible, and the numbers show that. So the only name on that screen is Caliber Homes. That's the one tied to a preferred vendor of ours. What we found with agent capture rates is typically your brokerage, if you're a broker owner, you can capture about 20% of business in the mortgage world off of either your vendor partner relationships or mortgage companies that you own. There's a lot of strategies we won't get into today on how to capture more than that. So you'll see if you add up Caliber and Freedom Lending, which is that little graphic, those totaled, I don't know which month you're in, but I think those totaled.
I was in April, so it was only a couple of days that we were looking at. Now we're looking at the year. So
we pulled analytics last year, so we did about 100 million. We did 103 million or something in volume, and we were able to capture about 20% across those two entities. We believe moving forward, because those entities will now be physically located in our new office that opens this summer, we think we'll capture over 50%. And so we put the names of the entities we prefer our clients to use. We put the names in the purchase agreements and in the listing agreements and on our vendor list on our website. And then of course we're tracking who people are using. And the reason we track, and we've always tracked this, is it told me who I needed to go to and ask for marketing spend. The conversation would be right now, Regent Financial's at 22%. Now it's 2 units. It's a very small demographic, but we'd go to Regent Financial and say, hey, our team is using you primarily on our deals and you're not helping contribute to marketing spend. It's in your best interest, Regent Financial, to help pay for leads that are going to feed into this machine. Our agents are scrubbing them and then referring deals back to you. And most companies would rather put their marketing spend into a real estate team that's producing at a high level than towards any other type of marketing vehicle, because you're literally investing with the person that's going to provide you referrals and send leads your direction.
So in this case, if we're looking at year to date, it's actually First National Bank that you have an opportunity to go do that with. So what other, let's talk about vendors for a minute, Jeff, because I know most teams out there are only getting money. I mean, there are a lot of now that are getting money from others, but the majority of teams are only getting money from a mortgage company through an MSA. Yeah. What other businesses are contributing to your team or brokerage?
Yeah, so I've always said the top 5 are mortgage, title, insurance, home inspection, home warranty. The juice really isn't worth the squeeze in any other industry. And I'd even say if you can't get $1,000 a month, then it's not worth your time managing the relationship. It's just not worth your energy. So I know a lot of you know what I mean by that. So like if someone says, oh, I'll do $250 a month, that's just not worth even talking to that person. Like you're now going to have the noise of them saying, hey, I'm not getting enough leads. It's like, you're not paying anything. I don't even want to talk to you. So I had said before that we know with a lead, it takes about $500 to convert one deal. So when I have an MSA with someone, if they're spending $1,000 a month, my hope is that I can do 2 deals a month at the brokerage level from that $1,000 spend. And of course, my hope is that those buyers and or sellers choose to use that service. There's no promise. That's what a marketing service agreement is it's not a promise to do anything more than market that company by adding them to your resources page or your vendor list. We also incorporate them into our purchase and listing agreements with an opportunity for someone to check a box that says other. So we'll just say, hey, there's a few companies we've already listed here that we work with, but you can pick whoever you want. There is a gray area there with RESPA compliance, but up to this point, that's how we've been doing it. It's been working really well for us. So we've been able to generate, today I generate $8,500 a month from mortgage companies, around $1,500 a month from a warranty company, around $1,000 a month from a home inspection company, and title company no longer pays anything, but I own a mortgage company. I own the mortgage insurance and title company. So the only 2 ancillaries now that are paying that I don't personally own, meaning it's not costing me money, is the home inspection and home warranty. And to be able to get that type of a dollar contribution, you've got to be doing high volume business, which I'd say is 250 buy sides or more a year to have that kind of a conversation with somebody.
Okay, so something I want to dive into, Jeff, I've heard you talk about this. You're rolling out this new Jeff Bucks, and here's some challenges showing your year-to-date point leaders and some challenges that you've run. But I want you to just outline for everybody how that works. Now, if I'm in here and I want to see which challenges Samantha has won, sure. Appointments met, under contract, but I know you're changing this up. So tell us what you're going to do here.
Yeah, so it's a joke that it's called Jeff Bucks. It was a joke off of The Office.
Well, I don't think we're going to let that one go.
It's going. We're going to call them Elite Coin is what I want to call them. Elite Coin, like Bitcoin. But the idea is that so many people are so focused on the result. And the result is the A plus on your math test or having an executed contract and commissions come in. But the true focus and onus on the leaders should be helping your people be focused on the activity that gets them the result. So we want to reward people. They'll reward themselves by the commission they earn on the sales that they get, but we want to reward them on the key performance indicators. Are they attending trainings? Are they going on listing presentations? Are they going on appointments? Did they make their call goal this month? Did they make their appointment goal this month, etc.? And so we're going to assign a point value that is monetized. And so someone can earn Elite Coin for these certain activities. Call it, like right now, you're showing Lee at 16,000 Elite coins. And then those coins can be used for a myriad of things. It could be swag, like the t-shirt I have on right now, it costs $15. That might be 1,000 Elite coin to buy the shirt. You'd be able to buy business cards, marketing materials, but you'll also be able to go on trips with it. We even are going to have, like, when you go into a video game arcade and you have tickets and the top prize is like a PlayStation 4, that's 20,000 tickets. And it's like the pretend thing that no one's ever going to earn. I want to do a 3-year lease on a Range Rover and have that be like 200,000 coins, whatever it is. So you essentially create a monetization system. So instead of giving someone a $5 gift card to go get a coffee, I'm giving them coins, and then they can choose what they want to spend those coins on.
So I know Andy's been working heavily and Kevin on getting those points figured out. So you guys are actually planning on rolling that out this month though, right?
Yeah, that's going to start here in the next couple of weeks, we're hoping.
Yeah, okay. Very cool. Anything else that you want to cover in here, Jeff?
Regarding the point system, or just Sisu overall?
Just Sisu, how you're managing your team, your business through here. Anything else you wanted to share?
Yeah, so I think, with the point system, that's kind of the playoff of the gamification. That's what the power of gamification is. And each person can decide how they want to do that. You don't have to do a point system. I think that's a lot of extra work and management. A lot of people are just excited to have their face at the top of a website. I joke about it. It's like when you play Xbox or PlayStation and you get points, they have the gamification, and usually you can buy things in their online store with the points you get by playing video games. Most of us are just excited to see our face at the top of the screen. So don't feel like you have to go spend a ton of money. You're building this out to help people live and lead the life of their dreams. You're providing them this as a tool to help them be the best version of themselves. There's no reason we need to be giving them more than the commissions they'll earn if they actually follow this program. The whole idea is to make it fun. And so one of the exciting things about Sisu compared to using an Excel spreadsheet is it truly makes data fun. It makes analytics exciting because those analytics empower your people to be able to make better choices that's going to net them more money in less time with less energy. And who doesn't want that? The challenge I've seen with Sisu engagement and or any other technology platform is that the team leaders and broker owners fail to train and fail to hold people accountable to use the technology to empower the agent. So the onus is on us if we say, oh, our agent's not using Sisu, or our agent's not using the Mojo dialer, or our agent's not X, Y, or Z. They're not doing it because you're not making them. You're not teaching them, you're not training them, and you're not holding them accountable. And at the end of the day, if you are doing all those things and they're still not doing it, they're choosing not to achieve their highest potential. They're choosing not to live and lead the life of their dreams, not to check something off their vision board. And it's not your job to force them to do those activities. It's your job to provide them the platform to do it. And I guarantee if you can look at any of your costs and you start cutting today, the number one thing I would say not to cut is lead generation, coaching, training, and analytics, because those are all the components that are going to empower your business in the most important time, which is in these next, quarter 2 and quarter 4, these next 6 months is the most important time to stay engaged with all of these analytics and our training and our accountability and getting your Zoom calls going every day and making sure people are staying motivated, staying up, or getting up and showering, working out, doing all these other things so that they can continue lining up their deals. So when Q3 hits and the stop order changes and the economy gets back to normal and everything goes back to normal, you are the agent that was reaching out. I had a call this morning with an office in Montreal. It was interesting. I asked everyone on the call, we had about 50 people live. I asked them how many doctors, dentists, attorneys, massage therapists, personal trainers had reached out to them to see how they were doing. And I did a show of hands and not a hand went up. I said, none of your doctors, dentists, attorneys, lawyers, all these people are at home not working. None have reached out to see how you're doing. This is a great opportunity now more than ever to reach out to anyone that's ever bought, sold, or referred to us. Go through your entire database and just check in with people and say, hey, I'm stuck at home. You're stuck at home. We're all quarantining. How are you doing? How's the family holding up? Oh, right now I'd love to get you added as well to HomeBot, which sends them listing updates, or Boomtown, or whatever it is that you're using for your long-term SOI engagement. And then also saying, we know a lot of people right now are worried about the market and they fear that we're in a declining market. We don't feel that we are based on the analytics. Your house is, at up 7% this quarter compared to last year. But if you do come in contact with someone that does want to sell now, we would love the opportunity to help them. Would you have a couple more minutes for me to share with you my listing presentation so I can walk you through the virtual process that we're using to keep our clients safe? I don't know why we wouldn't all be engaging all of our databases to have those conversations right now.
So Jeff, I was on a webinar a couple of days ago with a team that runs really high-level ISAs, and this stat is amazing, something I want you to all hear. We're used to seeing around 10% answer rate. Their answer rate on their calls has actually gone to 38%. And so they've actually shut off their dialers because they got sick of their dialers hanging up on people. And just know that almost 1 out of every 2 dials you make, someone's going to answer. People are answering their calls right now. So it's a great opportunity to just get in front of people and let them know you care.
Yep. Same thing with social media engagement, shooting a video, helping people feel comfortable about the market. If you are in an essential, your state is named real estate as essential, to be able to get onto social media, shoot a video, be authentic and say, hey, we're so grateful and humbled that real estate was an essential market. We want to make sure that you guys know we are taking all precautions to keep you safe. Run them through the list of what you're doing virtually and let them know that you're a resource. People are scared. Let them know that you're here to help them navigate these uncharted waters. And most importantly, line up these opportunities, because we will pass this. People on the media are super depressing. Everything's super depressing right now. We will one day look back and say, what should I have done? And I can tell you right now, this is the second time I'm saying it. This is getting recorded. You should be lining up opportunities for when this passes, people that you can reach out to both help them buy and or sell houses, which is what you should have already been doing anyways. But now more than ever, like Brian was sharing, statistically, you're going to talk to way more people. And this time, they're going to actually want to talk to you. People are cooped up, they're bored, they're going to be excited to hear from you. So what better time than now to start engaging again with our sphere of influences and our past clients?
Yeah, awesome. So I know we had a couple of questions. It looks like some of those have been answered. While you guys are getting questions together, I did want to let everyone know, if you use kwELITE 2020, I just posted that in here so that you can all see that. You'll get a $99 waiver of your setup fees. We'll also waive your import fees, meaning we'll pull all of your data in from any spreadsheets you've used in the past or whatever to make sure all your transactions are in there for the last couple of years. That will allow you to see your year-over-year data. In addition to that, we're offering a free white label branding right now. So if you want this to be your branding and not Sisu's branding, we're doing that right now. And in addition to that, rather than just offering a 7-day trial, we'll give you a trial through the last day of the month so you can really play around before you pay anything. So anyway, if you're interested in that, go to sisu.co. Jeff, do you have anything you want to share as far as your coaching goes on that as well?
Yeah, so we're also extending, due to COVID, we have a few special discounts. We'd like people to be taking advantage of all the training content that's out there. I know a lot of coaching companies right now are discounting 50%. We're just going to make ours free. So for the next 60 days, any agent that wants to sign up for our agent virtual group coaching product with Elite Real Estate Systems, that's going to be free of charge. We just want to be sure that all agents are unified and that we're making sure we're helping each and every agent navigate these uncharted waters in a shifting market due to the response to the COVID-19. And we want to make sure that we are a resource and that it's not about profit gain. It's about actually lifting and helping those in the real estate community. So please take advantage of this offer. It's free. We aren't charging anything. And you can do that at eliterealestatesystems.com. If you don't see any information on there, I don't actually know. Let's make sure we get show notes for this, Brian, to give them access to how to get signed up for that. Or just go to eliterealestatesystems.com and click contact and say you want to get signed up, and we'll have someone follow up with you and get you taken care of. We also would love to extend an invitation for those that haven't yet attended an in-person conference. We know that's not going to be happening anytime soon, but we do host our workshops in Omaha and the Team Building Summit. We have those events on our website as well, eliterealestatesystems.com. Just click on events. We are planning on moving forward with the Team Building Summit in July, unless things haven't passed by then, and then we will reschedule. And then the last thing is, if you've enjoyed the content and you feel like you align with kind of our thinking here, I would really like to extend an invitation for you to follow us on our Team Building podcast. You can choose to go follow us on iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. On YouTube, we just do a Zoom just like this, and you can watch the interview. And we do an interview every week. And my topics over the next quarter are going to all be specific to how to navigate a shifting market. So no matter what the topic it's going to be on, that will be the main part of my next quarter's worth of interviews. We have over 100 recorded podcasts on there. It's rated a 5-star rating, over 100 reviews. So you can go to the Team Building, you can go to eliterealestatesystems.com, and then on the top, just click on podcasts, and it'll give you the 3 different ways to sign up for our podcast.
Okay, so there's a couple questions that have come in. Thank you, Jeff. I'm looking forward to seeing you in July if that still happens. Mm-hmm. So we've had a couple questions come in about how your data gets into Sisu. I know from working with your team that it's coming in from Boomtown. A lot of it's coming in from Boomtown. A lot of it is coming in from .loop. But in addition to that, you guys are actually managing your transactions, which we didn't really show, but you're actually managing your transactions. And that's Andy's transactions. I'm logged in as Andy here. So all of your transactions are in here. You can get to all of your pending transactions, or you can filter this any way you want and just pull those transactions up and quickly come in here and edit any custom form in here. This is how things are being tracked. Some of this data comes in from the CRM. Some of this data can come in from your transaction management, and some people are using Sisu for the transaction management. So it just depends on what workflows you want. We don't care where you're doing it. Just want to make sure you have a clear picture of your business. And then I'm going to log out here. Somebody asked to see a white label. Going to log in as myself, and I think I have one in here. You can see we allow you to see if you have multiple locations or teams or brokerages. You can see all of those in here. I have a demo of a Realty One white label right here. So you can see it's got the Realty One logos. It's got their colors. If you come into the dashboard, I don't know that I have any data in here, but you'll actually see that it has, of course, the pacer lines are not blue, yellow, and orange for cold to hot. It's really the Realty One color. So we can really design that any way you guys want that. Let's see, Jeff, any other questions for you here? Question, any progress on the Command API? Jeff asked me about this every day. Jeff has gotten us into KW. We've been working closely with them. We are now in the, what do they call it? Not the store, but they call it the
Resource Center, maybe?
KW Marketplace.
The Marketplace. So we're in KW Marketplace now. They have given us their APIs. They just don't have enough APIs today that we can really start pulling stuff in. So we are working closely with them to do that. We also are working closely because I know a lot of KW teams that are on Sisu have struggled with the new change for commissions. So we're working with them so that your commissions, ultimately, our goal is they will be able to go straight from Sisu into Command, so you won't have to do that twice, because we all know that commissions can be a lot of work. So anyway, hopefully that addresses your question there.
Yeah, and I would just say too on that point, Brian, any tech company is going to roll out APIs with everyone, but they all have such different systems that it doesn't just happen overnight, unfortunately. So I know the Boomtown integration took a while. Now that one's running really well. So I would just say for anybody that doesn't have that yet, just be patient. It's coming. Yeah,
absolutely. How are you holding your agents accountable, Jeff, to report their daily numbers?
Yeah, so with Sisu,
from Travis Ling.
All right, cool. Hey, Travis. With Sisu, we just have the notification get sent to them at night at 5 p.m. reminding them to go in and load the numbers. But in reality, a lot of agents do a horrible job at going in loading the numbers, especially now using COVID-19 as the excuse to not work and feeling justified. And so it's the responsibility of a productivity coach who you assign within your team. It could be a trainer, it could be the team leader, but someone needs to be the productivity coach who's going to go on a weekly basis, and you're going to have a 15-minute Zoom call with each person in your organization, agents and staff alike, and you're going to hold them accountable to certain key performance indicators. That's how we've done it for 9 years. That's how we will always do it in the future. It's just a weekly accounting of how somebody spent their time. And we're not doing it for ourselves. We're doing it to help them live their best life and get the greatest results out of the systems and strategies that we've implemented. And them knowing that they're going to be sitting down and someone's actually going to be, pulling back the curtain to see if they actually did what they said they were going to do. Just the very fact that someone cares enough to do that is what I believe helps those agents to step up and make sure to report their numbers. And if they don't, we're going to help them be successful, and we'll go in and add the numbers for them in that weekly accountability meeting.
And so, Jeff, just so to let everybody know, we've actually got your team set up where you have groups or teams within the team. So each of those pod leaders, some people call it pod leaders, you call it a team within the team, now a team within the brokerage team. But you can set it up so that the leader of each of those has access to the people underneath them so that they can actually hold them accountable to their daily goals.
Yeah. And where the rubber meets the road, you guys, in closing on this thing, it's all going to be about your ability to train your agents in this shifting market, keep them motivated, hold them accountable, and stay positive. We will be out of this. So don't let people use this as an excuse to not work. Is this the third time I've said that? Let this be an opportunity to line up new opportunities and have it be the biggest Q3 we've ever seen. I know for a fact, for those that choose to buckle down and do more engagement than ever right now. Double your calls, cut your costs by 10 to 15%, but double your activity. Reach out to your database that you probably have not done a good enough job reaching out to in the past. Show people sincerity. Let them know that you're thinking about them, checking in on how they're staying safe and staying sane during the quarantine, doing that as a good human being. People will work with you when they are ready to do their next deal. They'll refer to you when they come in contact with someone else ready to do a deal. And then be sure that you're vocal about the value that you offer in your virtual opportunities and options within your company, both on a buy and sell side. Make sure people know that that's an option, and make sure people know if you are one of the essential categories in your state, that you are essential and that you are allowed to go look at houses, and that that is an option for them, and that interest rates are still at an all-time low, and that there is an option to close on loans. We have to communicate that. We are the point people who actually are, chest to chest with our clientele. This is the most important time, I'd say, arguably in history, to be sure we're top of mind and we're in front of our database and we're not hiding our heads in the sand, literally out my back door, and we're engaging socially via all these virtual options.
Okay, Jeff, thank you so much for spending time with us. Once again, if you go to sisu.co, sisu.co, kwELITE 2020 will get you all those discounts we talked about. Just put that in when you go look at pricing. And Jeff, once again, always a pleasure. I wish I was in Hawaii with you. I'm here in Salt Lake where it snows 1 minute and it's sunny the next minute. So anyway.
Not too bad either, Brian. Not too bad either.
Yeah. All right. It's great seeing you. Enjoy.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, everyone.